doing stuff over again, but I screwed up on it real bad, so I'm going to redo it over again before I forget. So today I am going to watch a video from someone called The Tug or something. He did pretty good on this, and I'll explain what I'm doing. Today I am going to redo Sodor. Now I have a game called City Skylines I use for Sodor, but I didn't do it like I thought I should did, so I'm going to redo it over again. Now, the way I'm just going to do is just do the street names, okay? You see here, S-O-R. Now, this idea came from the Unlucky Tug, but I'm going to do it a little different from he did. He showed the whole map, but that's all he did. Now, me, personally, I'm making roads out of all this. Names and characters will be technically roads. And if you're wondering if I should go into Sodor mode, I am not going to, because I do not have the time to go into Sodor mode. So I'm not going to be in Sodor mode until later on next month or something. But I am going to be watching some stuff from the Unlucky Tug to do this. Now, what I'm doing is something I should not be doing, but I thought, you know what, I should just do this real quick so I don't forget. I did this a while back. I screwed it up, so I ripped out all the pages out of this to read this again. I'm also going to add some secrets in here, too. Like, I already had, like, 2 roads in it. I already had some main roads in this town that I really need to have in here because they added my own flavor to it. Like, I added Main Street, and 3 other streets are actually based off of last names that I know. And you know what, I thought, read this Sodor over again. Now, this is a cheap book, so it was easier to pages out of it. But after this done with, the better. Now, this is something I kind of wanted to do a while back. He has done this twice, but I was thinking I should just do it myself and do it the proper way. So, yeah, he's going to name them off. I'm going to write them down here in this book. Here, let me just move this stuff. I need to crap this up. I already crapped my life up already once this month. I need the tablet over here. Okay, I'm you guys right there. So you guys can still see me, but you can't see what I'm writing because I don't have enough room on this desk. The way I have everything set up, it's, you know, SOX29Q ODAR. Oh, that's OR. Whoops, I screwed up. OR. Okay. Okay, this is going to be a big old mess. I need to change it to an O or an R. Where's the O at, Mama? Okay, guys, so I'm going to do this real quick, and then who knows? Maybe by the end of the year or by a few weeks, I might put Sodor on my duck. Who knows? I'm going to retype in Sodor real quick. Now, I'm going to do this. Now, I'm going to do some thingies that's not, there's most likely to be train stations, but let's see here. S, O, wait, no, S, O, D, O, R. Now, I'm going to try adding every single line or map or something and make it a street name. Now, that's what I'm going to do. I did this one time already. It didn't turn out as planned. So, I'm going to fix this up. And I have to watch both versions because both versions make a little more sense. And before I add the characters, and I was thinking about adding the characters as street names too. So, any street name I get, I'm going to use. Most of them. I mean, some names might be changed. Like some character, every single character will be used as a name. And then I'm going to add some of my own flair, like numbers and stuff. I'll add my own flair to it. But, yeah. I don't know if we use... Now, there's one thing, though, guys. I don't know about if I should do this here. Now, Duck. Duck actually has a different name named Montague. I don't know if I'm going to use Duck's name. I don't know if I'm going to use Duck's name or not. You need to stop sliding, Maker. There's no to put you help you right there. So, I don't know if I'm going to use that version of Duck's name. But that's going to be the last thing I have to think about. That's a maybe. Rest of the characters' names, I'm not changing, so let's do this. Okay, this was done 10 months ago, so I'm going to do this real quick and do all of them, and then if I had to, add some more streets. I might reuse this book, maybe not, most likely not, because after build Sodor, I'm going to leave Sodor alone, and maybe play and add to it. Maybe I'll even add a couple Who knows what I'm going to do. So, okay, so here we go. Now, we're going to do every single station they talk about and put in this book.
That's a Chromebook with the everything button.
So, it'll be a while. So, here we go.
From files to apps, even answers online. Who says you can't have everything with the everything button? Switch to
here we go.
Instantly. Switch to Chromebook. I have a challenge for all of you. Go to every computer.
I don't care, Mr. Beast.
Your sister, your brother's computer, and
Hello, YouTube.
So, here we go.
I am very happy to present you a video that I have had in the works for some time now. In this video, I'm going to walk you all through my map of the...
And this guy makes more sense, but I need to fix one particular piece in this book quick. Before you yell at me, this is not going to be in alphabetical order. It will be in my temporary... And quick disclaimer, guys, these will not be in order. These will be in my order, which is the wrong order. But I'm doing this because I feel like it, and I had done this once. It didn't turn out as planned, but I'm going to do it again. Now, I'm thinking, Tyler, why would you want to do this, Tyler, for? Because it makes more sense. Now, where everything goes doesn't matter, okay? Now, I'm using a friend's last name because he loves the show. But I thought, you know what, he needs to have his own road. So I'm actually going to make a road called Huxford Street. Huxford for him. Now, that's all I'm going to say. The rest of the roads will not be custom. Everything else will be... Main Street, Yaw, Milton, and Huxford were custom roads that I had the idea for before I had the idea to make this video. Months ago. So we're going to watch this. Write down the cities and stuff. And if they make a little sense, I'll add some to them, make them essential, and that's it. So... We're going to use whatever he uses. I'm going to pause it, add some stuff to it, and then maybe add some other things to it as well.
The Island of Sodor, as presented in the TV series. The Island of Sodor is where Thomas and all the engines live. It has a railway that spans from coast to coast called the Northwestern. It is a part of the British Isles, technically a part of England, off the northwest coast near the Lake District, with rail connections at Barrow and Venice. Thomas's creator, Wilbur Awdry, famously spent years filling in his map of Sodor. The first incarnation dates back to 1950, and he continually worked on it until his death in 1997. The amount of detail and lore present on this map is absolutely astounding. Awdry was truly passionate about his creation. The TV series sticks to Awdry's map somewhat, but changed a lot of things. Around season 3 or so, they stopped sticking to the map entirely and just kind of did their own thing. And one of my favorite time waster hobbies is trying to map all of these TV locations out and how everything is connected via railway lines. There are many versions of the quote-unquote canon.
It makes more sense.
Out there. We have the crappy Sam Wilkinson map from 2014 that tries to cram everything from every era of the show and the books into one, and it just does not work. Then you got this one from Japan that literally shows stuff like this on it. Yeah.
My head hurts.
And this very recent map from 2020 that's a weird mix of CGI series and railway series. All of them are all a little different from each other, but they all make the same crucial mistake. They use Awdry's map and just add TV crap on top of it. The TV series made it very clear that the map the show stuck to is not the same as Awdry's in the very first episode, when they showed Knapford as the big station instead of Tidmouth. So using Awdry's map as a basis is just silly, because the TV series never stuck to it to begin with. I've built my own map, and I have consistently worked on it for over a year now, and I'm going to walk you all through it.
His makes more sense.
Before we begin, let's keep a few things in mind. 1. This is predominantly a classic series map. That's seasons 1 through 7, with some hit and railway series elements sprinkled in to fill gaps where necessary. So railway series only things like the Coldy Fell, or CGI only things like the Arlesdale Railway, or Ulstead Castle, or Blue Mountain Quarry will not be featured. As far as I'm concerned, the classic series, the railway series, and the CGI series are all totally different canons, and stick to very different maps. 2. While I did what I could to include everything from seasons 1 through 5 on this, there are a few things here and there I had to retcon to make this make any sense. The biggest retcon was Rusty to the rescue. I will always hate the idea that the narrow gauge railway stretches all the way to the mainland, and since it's never been really alluded to since, I did not feature that. So before you say, oh, you forgot this set that appeared for one shot in one scene only. Yes, I'm aware, but this map will continue to evolve over time. And I'm sure people will point out things on this that will make me reconsider some things, which is totally fine, and I welcome that feedback. This is really just where I am right now with it. And lastly, and this is something that I even struggled with, you just have to accept that some locations change in appearance from season to season for any of this to work. Brendam Docks, Farquhar Quarry, Wellsworth, and the Hackenbeck Tunnel are all some of the biggest culprits from always changing how they look every season. This is all just meant to be fun, and really is just my own headcanon for all this stuff. I'm in no way saying any of this is fact. If you disagree,
I don't give a care.
that's totally fine.
Nice
And
you
I'd love to
choose
see
road
other
mate.
people's takes on this map as well. So without further ado, let's get into
you.
it. There is a lot to unpack here. So let's start with the main line, which is depicted on the map in red.
Okay, the main. First things first, I'm gonna add a street here that does not need to exist. Okay, now before we start, I'm just gonna do something real quick. T. Oh crap! I screwed up spelling. I'm just gonna do this as a joke. This I should have never add, but who cares? It's like now. You're gonna change it. Yeah, I'm gonna change it now. I should never add that road. I'm gonna get rid of it.
So I also have a rule of how to tell the sets apart, and it's the number of tracks seen on them. The main line is usually 3 tracks, with a couple exceptions. 2 tracks is a branch line, and 1 track is either a tail end of a branch line in a rural area, or strictly a goods line. Any set we see with 3 tracks is very clearly the main line. So as we all know, the big station at the start of the line in the TV series is
Nafford will be the first thing I'm going to cover up is this right here because Texaco is a gas company that does not really need to exist. I thought of it. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of it right off the bat. K N A A P F O. Cut this off. Nafford. K N A P If I can't get Nafford so if I can't get Nafford to come out with this thing right, I'm gonna use the that's it. If this doesn't come out next time with this one, I'm just gonna use the electric. K N A P F O R D. You kind of make it out. I kind of can make that out. You're gonna have to use Nafford.
Knapford. Knapford is the terminus for all lines, and all mainline trains start and end here. The express starts here, so naturally, it's the very start of the line. It was a weird choice to make Knapford the big station instead of Tidmouth, but I can kind of understand why. The most recent Sodor map at the time of Season 1 was this one from the 70s. and it very incorrectly shows the main line terminating at Knapford. Before we go forward, let's talk about the harbor. Knapford Harbor is the mainline harbor and exports fish and stone. It's the harbor that features in seasons 1 and 4. Stone from the Farquhar Quarry is brought here, as seen in train stops play and special attraction. The flying kipper is also consistently collected from here. As we can see very clearly in season 1 and in season 2 concept art, the harbor is behind the station in the distance. Above the harbor and just behind the station is the Shunting Yard. The Shunting Yard is one of those locations, again, you just kind of have to accept changes appearance.
You're there? Nope, there ain't something else.
Season, just like Brendan Docks and the Quarry. So whatever version of the Shunting Yard you like is what's here. I personally like the season 2 one. Knapford Sheds is also located here, which had a turntable in season 1, and then at some point along the way was turned into a multi-road shed. Now we can start traveling along the main line. So this is one of the biggest changes to the map versus Audrey's. The main line starts at Tidmouth on Audrey's map and travels south to Knapford. Since the TV's terminus is Knapford, and Tidmouth is depicted as a mainline station, I've switched the directions. The main line starts at Knapford in the southwest corner of Sodor and travels north. Just past Knapford is the bus depot and the junction for Thomas's branch line. I will talk more about this when we get to Thomas's branch. A little ways up is the bridge that crosses over the old harbor. Cross over the River Ells and we start approaching the second station, Lower Tidmouth.
Okay, so Olds.
Lower Tidmouth is a stop for local trains only. The express does not stop here. Just north of that, we start entering the town of Tidmouth. It's here that Tidmouth Sheds resides. And just behind that is Tidmouth Station. Tidmouth Station's a bit of a weird one. It's a junction for Duck's branch line and also the terminus of Thomas's branch line. I'll explain more about that in a bit. As far as I can tell, the express does stop at Tidmouth. The railway's coaling plant is at Tidmouth, and it has changed appearance a couple times since its introduction, notably gaining a huge loading ramp in Season 6. It only makes sense that the main place to refuel the engines is located at Tidmouth, where the majority of them are all stationed. Beyond Tidmouth, the line starts to curve east and goes into the countryside. In this
Henry's Tunnel. Are you gonna actually put that in here? Yeah, why not? You're actually turning into a tunnel road to Henry's Tunnel. Henry's Tunnel. You're actually gonna name it Henry's Tunnel? Yeah, it would have to be Tunnel Road.
sect of the country's
I will put a mark on it. I'll put a mark near. I'll circle it there so I know I have to be special. Yeah, I'll circle it if it's special. I'll circle it so I know that's a special. It has to be special.
is Henry's Tunnel. Henry's Tunnel is depicted on the west of Sodor before Vicarstown on Audrey's map. Well, that just doesn't really fly on the TV map. As shown on multiple occasions, Henry's Tunnel is somewhere between Knapford and Wellsworth. Gordon starts at the express at Knapford, breaks down at the tunnel, Edward and Henry bring it to Wellsworth. In Thomas and the Trucks, Thomas is seen traveling through it before even reaching Elsbridge, so that narrows down its placement even further. After Henry's Tunnel, the line travels over the River Ells again and reaches Elsbridge.
Elsbridge, okay. Anything I'm going to circle will be tunnels. Really? It'll be like a tunnel. It'll be like in a tunnel or a bridge. Get our color for a bridge. Okay, tunnels will be that. Bridges will be blue. I'm gonna make it easier on me. You can circle anything that's blue. Like, indigo, blue, who gives a shit? It's my map. I can make it like I want to make it. There we go. Blue. Chameleon. I can't pronounce it. That's not even, that might be using right. I'm using between shade blue. L's Bridge. B. R. D. G. E. L Bridge.
This is one of the craziest changes from Audrey's map, and I don't really understand why it was done. In the books, Ellsbridge is a small town in the countryside and the middle station on Thomas's branch line. He would stop here for water. For some reason, Ellsbridge was changed to be the junction station for Thomas's branch line, replacing Knapford. I have literally no idea why they did this. I guess they did this because they made Knapford the big station, so they needed another station to be the junction. Why Knapford couldn't just be both is beyond me. Anyways, Ellsbridge is also a local stop only. It's here that Thomas has to wait for local mainline trains. As shown in Thomas and the Breakdown Train, the express does not stop here. After Ellsbridge, we approach another tunnel. Ellsbridge...
Cosley Tunnel. UNNEL. Tunnels are going to be circled in red because this is also a tunnel. This is also going to be a tunnel. That's also a tunnel. So Cosley Tunnel. If it says tunnel, it's going to be a legit tunnel.
On one side and Crosby on the other. There's a stretch of line before the next station, and it's on this stretch of line that James had his big accident in a field. And a little ways further is the area where Edward chased James down. We cross under the road bridge and begin the approach to Crosby.
Crosby. Oh, that's not what I needed. Crosby. C-R-O-S-B-Y. Crosby. Greater Bridge. G-R-D. Let's see. R. R. D. E-R. Greater. B. R. I. D. G. E. Greater Bridge. Greater Bridge, which is going to be this. Is going to be that. I should change the pencil so I don't get the color screwed up. I should just change the pencil. So an actual pencil. Wait. Aha! An actual pencil. I should put you guys over here so I don't lose you guys. Now, Greater Bridge was actually a good idea.
Crosby. Crosby is infamously the station where Duck crashed into the barber shop, coming from the other direction. Not much to say about this one, other than the express also does not stop here, as shown in By George. Shortly after Crosby is the Girder Bridge over a cutting that Henry and Gordon were stopped by a cow. Henry is halted here going east, and then reverses back to Crosby. After that bridge is the ever-picturesque viaduct.
Viaduct Road will also be a bridge. Wouldn't it be Viaduct be a road? I'm not going to add the viaduct.
Crossing the river whatever. The viaduct is always consistently shown to be before Wellsworth in the show.
I'm not going to add the viaduct. You're not going to?
Here, as shown in By George. Shortly after Crosby is the Girder Bridge over a cutting that Henry and Gordon...
Viaduct, yeah, I'll make it a bridge. V-I... D-U-C-T. Viaduct will also be a bridge. Viaduct will also be a bridge. I might not say bridge, but viaduct.
Gordon were stopped by a cow. Henry is halted here going east, and then reverses back to Crosby.
So what if I circle is a...
is the ever-picturesque viaduct crossing
that's
the
also
river whatever.
I'm not
The
gonna do that.
viaduct is always consistently shown to be before Wellsworth in the show. It's also one of a few mainline locations on this map that is inexplicably 2 tracks instead of 3. I don't know why. We pass under a little road bridge and finally reach
Wellsworth. Wellsworth.
also known as Edwards Station. There's a goods yard here for trucks coming up from Brendam Docks. They're sorted here by whoever's in the yard at the time, usually Edward, and wait for mainline engines to come collect them. This is also the junction for Edward's branch line to Brendam. I don't know why, but the direction of Wellsworth changes after season 1. Gordon crosses the viaduct coming from Knapford and then stops at Wellsworth, whereas in season 2, he goes through Wellsworth in the same direction and then reaches the viaduct in the direction of Crosby. The same thing happens in season 3. Don't know why this was done, but either way, it confirms that it is a stop for the express, but only when it is traveling eastbound for Vickerstown. After Wellsworth, we reach the junction. There's a crossing here, and then the tracks split off. If we keep going along the main line, we'll start the approach to Gordon's Hill.
Oh, that's a vicarage.
Gordon's Hill is shown as a series of curves and winds in season 1.
Gordon's Hill. That's gonna be kind of tricky. You gonna do it? Yeah, Gordon's Hill. Why not? We'll make it a bridge. Okay, we'll make Gordon's Hill be like a bridge or something. If depends what map I use too. Yeah. Gordon's Hill. We'll make it a bridge. People have a problem with it. Too bad. Give me a break, guys. I don't know how to do the things someone else does with that game. I don't know how to do certain things.
And I prefer that version of Gordon's Hill more so to the straight up and down it becomes later on. So I reflected that here on the map. Towards the bottom of the hill, the line crosses over the River Mara and then passes over a crossing at the signal box for Marin.
Okay, Marin. Where's the leave it? Marin. Okay, I should just do M. Maron. Marin.
It was at this crossing that Arthur crashed into Duck on his first day.
Never
After
seen
that,
it.
we approached Maron. Maron is where Thomas hit the buffers and where James smashed the tar wagons.
Okay.
It changes appearance drastically in season 6 with a curved platform, and I personally prefer that version. The Express does not stop here, I don't think. The first 3 seasons very weirdly take place entirely west of Maron, and the east of Sodor isn't really explored until the Skarloey Railway was introduced. So what comes after Maron is really anyone's guess. The main line does cross over the huge river Hawen Ab, so I put the suspension bridge here. After that,
Kronk. I'm not gonna put suspension bridge because that makes no sense. Do that. Suspension bridge road? I don't think so. Kronk. Kildane.
that is Kronk and Kildane. Both are stations that have never appeared in the show. Kronk has technically as a tiny little country station, and I'll get into that in a bit. This is obviously not a mainline station, so it can't be here. This is where I start to draw from Audrey's map to fill in some gaps. The iOS book talks about how Kronk and Kildane are pretty busy center towns on Sodor. Kildane is the junction for the electric line, so it has a big engine facility, as well as a ballast plant and a motor rail terminal. Of course, these aren't shown in the TV show, but it makes me believe Kildane is a pretty busy and populated part of the island. So much so that this area deserved 2 stations, one actually in Kildane and another west for Kronk. It's a real shame we never saw them in the show. Since we never see him,
Maybe, I don't know. Should I add in our station? Should I add Kildane and Kronk? Do it. I'm gonna wait a second before I do it. I'll think about it. Kronk, Kildane. I know. I could do that. I could do that, but I don't want to know if I should or not. Man, I'm not going to. You do, Tyler, to have happiness. I'll like tomorrow. You don't want to know. Okay, guys, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna add something to this that's not in the book, but you know what? Though? I don't care. I'm gonna add it. Okay, and I'm gonna actually add it. There we go. Kildane Kronk. Kronk Kildane it should have been. Okay, I'll fix this real quick. It could be Kronk Kildane. Kronk Kildane? Yeah. Kronk Kildane. Yeah. Okay, I'll do it now. N-K. Who gives a care?
Kildane is the junction for the electric line, so it has a big engine facility, as well as a ballast plant and a motor rail terminal. Of course, these aren't shown in the TV show, but it makes me believe Kildane is a pretty busy and populated part of the island. So much so that this area deserves 2 stations. One actually in Kildane and another west for Kronk. Real shame we never saw them in the show. Since we never see him, I can't say for sure, but I'm just going to say the express doesn't stop at either of these stations. Down the line a bit, we pass another local stop, this little station. It has no official name, but the wiki calls it Balladrin.
Belgium, we're keeping it. B-A-L-L-A-D. I might work on this later on tonight, guys. Belgium, and this one I might keep.
It's clearly on a 3-track main line, so it. It's Balladrin. As shown in Season 7, the Express does not stop at it. This stretch after Balladrin is weirdly vast and has nothing on it on Audrey's map. So let's try and fill it in a little bit.
Henry's Forest. That's gonna be kind of tricky. Henry's Forest. I'll circle it, but I need a different color. Henry's Forest will be green. Yeah, Henry's Forest will be green. So I know the road has some heavy trees, so I have to find a map that has trees in it. Or, you know, I would never actually do this, guys, but I think I might have a road for this. If I do get a map with a forest in it, R-E-S-T, I will have to make sure I make a road called Henry's Forest. Or jungle. I don't know if I got like a jungle. I don't know what kind of island I'm going to get, but whatever I decide to do. Wait, if I have to, I'll make a forest or a park area that we call Henry's Forest. So I got to take my time doing this map. Henry's Forest will be green. So each part has its own color card. Green forest, red tunnel, blue water. Look at the ridge right there.
I like to think Henry's Forest is somewhere around here. It would make sense for a huge forest to be in an area that's not super populated. The line starts to climb another hill.
Hill Street.
And a little ways after that is the difficult bend. This is one of the few hit era things that I'm going to pull in to fill gaps. There has to be a hill somewhere before this bend, as those trucks and Thomas Saves the Day run away on it. And a little further beyond that is Kelsthorpe.
Kelsthorpe. That's what Kelsthorpe, not road. Why? Kelsthorpe is a road. Kels, S-T-H-O-R-P-E. Kelsthorpe.
Thorpe Road, another hit era station, and the junction for the Kirk-Ronan branch line. Not totally sure if the express stops here, but my guess is no. After Kelsthorpe Road, the line starts curving north. We pass by the ruins of Thorkel's castle
I'm not going to use
and
it.
start heading towards Croven's Gate. Up ahead is a little junction to the stone cutting and transfer yard for the Scarlowy Railway. More on that later.
We're not going to do Croven Gate.
Tunnel where the standard and narrow gauge trains run side by side. After the tunnel is the glorious Croven's Gate, the transfer station
Okay.
for the Scarlowy.
Okay, there actually is a road. Okay, never mind. I'll use Croven Gate. If it doesn't have if it's actually not a station, I'm not going to use it. I think it's a town, but we live Croven Gate. Certain things, guys, I have to be careful I add.
This is the third official stop for the Express. North of the station is the works, where all the engines go for maintenance, and on the other side of the line is the depot for the Skarloey engines. It was here Edward met Skarloey while waiting for his turn in the works. Now, I'm going to level with you guys. Everything beyond Croven's Gate to Vickerstown is just a total blur to me. I don't think this area of Sodor has really ever been touched on in the show. It's just unknown territory. Nothing but a long stretch that makes Vickerstown the station on the faraway part of the island where only the diesels work. You can fill in this area with just any sort of...
Vickerstown, okay.
generic three-track sets, really. The main line does come to its end at Vickerstown. Unlike Audrey's map, where the main line extends to the mainland, the main line does end here, and that's actually consistent for the CGI series as well. British Rail, aka the Other Railway, reaches Vickerstown via a bridge from the mainland, and there's a big exchange yard for goods between the two railways. And it was in this yard that Douglas found Oliver. A diesel depot is also located here for the diesels of the Other Railway to rest after they brought their trains. Since the area is usually infested with them, the Sodor engines don't particularly like coming here. Vickerstown Station is never clearly shown in the series until CGI. It is only briefly seen here in this one shot from Escape. So that is the main line. But believe it or not, that's actually one of the more simplistic lines on this map. Let's transition back to the west side and now talk about Thomas's branch line.
This is actually a real feature on Google Pixel 6 Pro. It's called Magic Eraser, which removes photo bombers and unwanted objects from your photos, which, by the way, is much easier than the way I used to get rid of.
I didn't touch anything. Hold on. Okay. When Get Swamped comes out, I'm gonna watch Get Swamped.
In my opinion, Thomas's branch line is the most confusing of all the lines on Sodor. Since Thomas is the main character, he appears everywhere, and it's sometimes hard to decipher what is actually his line and what isn't. For that same reason, a lot happens on this line, so there is so many locations to work out. So to unpack all of this, we'll need to start at Tidmouth.
Okay.
So I know Tidmouth is not really a place that many consider when thinking Thomas's branch line, especially since it literally doesn't touch it on Audrey's map. However, Thomas is consistently seen traveling to Tidmouth in seasons 2 and 3. We have to take into account that the sheds for the branch line engines are also located here. After season 2, the branch line engines all just stay at Tidmouth sheds, but no matter what shed they stay in, they're all still at Tidmouth. So Thomas's branch officially starts at Tidmouth and travels along the main line for a little while. He stops at Lower Tidmouth, as we see it down the mine, travel across the bridge over Old Harbor, and reach the junction. But before I get into the junction, let's talk about Knapford. I had to actually check this, and believe it or not, Thomas is only seen traveling to Knapford with Annie and Clarabelle once in all of seasons 1 through 5. Season 6 onwards, he's seen consistently traveling out of Knapford. The way I see it, the service starts at Tidmouth, travels south and turns onto the branch line. But on the first return journey, Thomas goes to Knapford and then back up to Farquhar. And for the rest of the day, he alternates between the two every other return journey. His very last service terminates at Tidmouth, where he then retires to either the branch line shed or the big roundhouse. Okay, so back to the junction. The bus depot is here. This is where Bertie lives, and where Thomas met Bertie for the first time. So I'm aware the junction is facing the wrong direction on my map. Trains leaving Knapford are consistently shown going the other direction. But here's my defense. I don't care. Thomas is even seen going on the wrong line on it once, so it doesn't matter. We see trains frequently going the wrong way on sets, or on sets they shouldn't be on throughout the show, so I'm just going to mark it up to inconsistency. So once we pass the bus depot, we are officially on Thomas's branch line. Just a little ways down the line is the first level crossing. After that is what I call the intro bridge, aka the bridge that appears in the intro of every episode. The line curves northeast and approaches Dryaw. Dryaw is the
You
airfield.
need to shut up, Sandy.
Harold the helicopter lives here, although he has helipads in a couple places. After Dryall, the line crosses over the harbor line on this bridge. A little ways up is the junction for the harbor.
What's wrong with Tyler's head? Wait, what's wrong with Tyler's hair? Tyler, what's wrong with your hair? Nothing. Why? Your hair looks crap. Well, too bad. It's America. I have rights, and I think I'm trying something different. Your hair looks like crap. I don't give a care.
Let's talk about the harbor.
I'm ready to die.
So on Audrey's map, the harbor line is the original track for the branch line. It is still operated, but solely just for goods, usually by Toby and Percy. The same is true here. The line branches off just before Tory Wreck and goes under the branch line. It travels through a wooded area, then along the canal, and then past a helipad for Harold. It goes under the main line to the original Knapford Harbor. This was the original harbor before the main line existed. Once the main line was built to Knapford, and the bigger harbor was constructed behind it, this one fell into disrepair. Thomas, Percy, and Trevor helped to rebuild it, and it now exports light goods. The actual name of the harbor has never been revealed officially, so I'm just going to call it Old Harbor. Back to the main branch. So the harbor line connects to the main branch just before Tory Wreck. I've changed my mind several times on what station this is. I once said it was Hackenbeck, and then I said it was a good station on the harbor line. But I finally settled on it being Tory Wreck, and here's why. It's widely accepted that this station is Tory Wreck, but it isn't actually officially named. This station, however, is said to be a goods station.
This station is for goods, not passengers.
It only makes sense that the goods station would be placed right where the goods line connects with the main. It's a station that exists for goods to be brought and unloaded, and as stated in Thomas Gets Bumped, Thomas doesn't actually stop here. He just carries on right through. If this was a station on the goods line, why on earth would Thomas pass through it daily with Annie and Clarabelle carrying passengers? It's definitely somewhere on the main branch. I'll get to that other unnamed station in a bit. So after Tory Wreck, we travel under this road bridge and start approaching Elsbridge. We discussed Elsbridge earlier already. This is the mainline junction where Thomas connects with local trains. There are engine facilities and a rolling stock shed here. Thomas then crosses over the main line via a series of points, I imagine, and then carries onto his branch line again. Right after Elsbridge is, of course, the Elsbridge itself, crossing the River Els. Thomas went fishing here once. The road runs alongside the railway for a short while. Just after the bridge is this bit of curved line with a buffer stop. And this little set here was actually the most important part of piecing together Thomas's line. Because once you realize it, suddenly the whole branch makes so much more sense. After this point, the rest of the branch line is single track, and everything before it is double. The second line ends at that buffer stop. It totally makes sense why the first half of the line is double track, because it's the secondary line for the main line, aka the loop line.
I was switched off the main line onto the loop. I had to go all round and back again.
As shown in James and the Coaches and Whistles and Sneezes, sometimes local trains are diverted along Thomas's line from Knapford. The double track allows them to pass Thomas without either having to wait at a passing. From this point on, the line just continues into the rural countryside, so there's no need for a second track. Trust me, everything just makes so much more sense now. So after that, the line starts to climb a little and we pass by fields of flowers. And just ahead is the cricket field and Bulgy's Bridge.
Well, let's Tyler, you now this is Tyler. Tyler, what do you think, Tyler? Well, me personally, I drove to now. Tyler, this is Tyler. Tyler. Well, technically, I have actually drove from. Well, technically, I have actually did both. Actually, actually, the thing is, a driver fly from like Detroit or Chicago. It's actually take a train. Actually, I never flown or drove. Actually, I took the train to Chicago, actually, and to Detroit both times. And, I mean, where I actually live, where I live, it's 2.5 hours each way. Where I live. Oh, I mean, where I live currently, you know how we went to Marshall, right? Marshall, Michigan? Yeah. If we went, if we actually went to when we went to Marshall, Michigan, guys. Yeah. Well, actually, when we went to Detroit, same thing. Actually, because we were actually not far from my house. We weren't. No, no, no. If we went a few more miles, we'd be where I lived. And where I lived is the halfway point from Detroit and Chicago. Really? Yes. The thing is, though, I don't want to say this, but where I'm from, yeah, and where you live, I don't. I live in the community of Leonidas. What the? Actually, I live in the community of something else, but I'm not gonna say because you're gonna laugh. But yeah, where I'm from is probably the halfway point of those 2 points.
Bridge. I know it's sacrilegious to place Bulgy's Bridge on Thomas's line and not Duck's, but the bridge is consistently being shown to be on Thomas's branch line in seasons 4 onwards. Maybe Duck was just on Thomas's branch in Bulgy for some reason. Who knows? After Bulgy's Bridge, we reach Maythwaite.
Wait.
I personally prefer...
Wait.
prefer the version of Maythwaite in Season 5 that is just single track. You can say the version in Season 6 onwards with the second track and platform is just a passing loop. After Maythwaite, the line climbs some more as it weaves up the hills towards the heart of Sodor. We pass by the beautiful watermill, and then through some river marshland where the ever-iconic windmill is. Terrence's Field isn't far from here. Once we pass that, we're in Hackenbeck Tunnel. On the other side of the tunnel is the little hut.
Hackenbeck Tunnel? Okay. I'm gonna type this up real quick because it's ripped it. I'm gonna type it up real quick. Okay, so I'm getting a break. I'm gonna cough in a little bit, guys, but for one reason. We're gonna lose.
Halt for Mrs. Kylie's cottage. There's a little crossing ahead with no gates, and just after that is Hackenbeck. And I'm saying that the unnamed station everyone says is Toyrek is actually Hackenbeck, and here's why. For one, it's a single track station, so it's definitely somewhere above Elsbridge. Second, in Train Stops Play, Stepney brings his trucks here after going through the Hackenbeck Tunnel. This station is Hackenbeck. This is the hill I die on. After Hackenbeck, the road and rail travel alongside each other for a while. We pass over the river on this cool little bridge, and finally...
Farquhar. Farquhar Quarry.
Reach the last regular service station, Farquhar. Farquhar is where Thomas's service usually terminates. At Farquhar, there are sidings for goods and a stone cutting shed for trucks from the Farquhar quarry. If we continue past the station and go left, the line will become a short tramway where Mavis stuck. Not far after that is the bridge where Toby tightroped. The line starts to wind and climb as it traverses through the hills. We'll pass the points for the abandoned tracks to the car ferry over the nearby lake. My headcanon is that they built a car ferry years ago and then abandoned it when they extended the line west and built a bridge over the river instead. Why they built a car ferry that could carry only one wagon at a time across it and didn't just build a bridge first is beyond me. But you know, typical backwards Sodor logic. The line crosses over the dirt road to the quarry, and it is here that Thomas was stopped by a policeman. The track then curves sidings for goods and a stone cutting shed for trucks from the Farquhar quarry. Kindly's cottage. There's a little crossing ahead with no gates, and just after that is Hackenbeck. And I'm saying that the unnamed station everyone says is Tory Wreck, Farquhar is where Thomas's service usually terminates. At Farquhar, there are sidings for goods and a stone cutting shed for trucks from the Farquhar quarry. If we continue past the station and go left, the line will become a short tramway where Mavis stuck. Not far after that is the bridge where Toby tightroped. The line starts to wind and climb as it traverses through the hills. We'll pass the points for the abandoned tracks to the car ferry over the nearby lake. My headcanon is that they built a car ferry years ago and then abandoned it when they extended the line west and built a bridge over the river instead. Why they built a car ferry that could carry only one wagon at a time across it and